In this lesson, we'll be taking a look at the flat pattern feature and its options. Like any other feature, I'll click on it and select Edit Feature to access the Flat Pattern Property Manager. The first section is where you specify the fixed face. The fixed face is the face of your sheet metal part that remains stationary while the other faces bend around it. To change the fixed face, you simply select the face in the graphics window while the fixed face field is active. Let's take a look at the next section of the Flat Pattern Property Manager. It's the checkbox labeled Merge Faces. This will merge all faces that are planar and coincident in the flattened state. Let's look at the part with this option selected. I will first get out of this feature, and then click the Flatten button from the sheet metal toolbar. Notice there are no edges where the bends meet. The sheet metal part is all one face. Now I will go back into the Flat Pattern feature and uncheck the Merge Faces option, then click OK. Now, in the flattened state of this part, you can see the faces of the bends. The next option to explore is the Simplify Bends option. This option controls how curves in the bend region are treated. With Simplify Bends selected, SOLIDWORKS will make linear edges out of curves in the bend region. Let's take a look at a different part. This part has a cut that goes across the bend regions, creating a curved edge in those regions. The default is set to Simplify Bends, as you can see when I edit the Flat Pattern feature. I will unselect it and click OK. Now, when I flatten the part, the edge in this bend region is curved. I will go back into the feature and check the Simplify Bends option. Now when I look at the flattened part, the edge in the bend region is a linear edge that is easier to manufacture. Back in the Flat Pattern feature, I want to briefly mention the Show Slit option here. Sometimes when working with sheet metal, you'll need to create a corner relief with a smaller relief than bend area. In order for that bend to be possible, SOLIDWORKS will add a slit to the corner, and the checkbox here will allow that to be seen in the flat pattern. I'll switch back to the first part I was working on to show the next option in the Flat Pattern feature, the Corner Treatment checkbox. This controls how SOLIDWORKS displays the corners where bends meet. With this option checked, SOLIDWORKS adds corner treatment to all the corners to create a clean, flattened sheet metal part that is correct for manufacturing. If I uncheck this option and then flatten the part, you can see that the corners where the bends meet do not have corner treatment applied and do not meet correctly. I'll edit the flat pattern once again. In the grain direction box, I can select an edge or line in the graphics area to specify which direction the grain runs on the sheet metal stock. I also have the ability to exclude faces from the flat pattern. Let me switch to a different part to show you what this option does. Here I have a table made using sheet metal features. Notice I've created some non-sheet metal features as well near the bottom of the table legs to give the design a little extra support, making this a multi-body part. However, since these aren't bends, they could cause some problems when flattening the sheet metal part. Let's take a look at what happens. I'll switch over to the flat pattern, and when I do, you can see I do indeed get an error message. To fix the error, I'll click the Flat Pattern feature in the Feature Manager tree and select Edit Feature. Now notice at the bottom there is a Faces to Exclude selection box. I'll click inside the box to activate it, and now I can select each of the faces of that extrude feature that's causing the problems. Once I have all the faces selected, I'll click the green check, and you can see SOLIDWORKS can now flatten the part without any problems, since those faces are now no longer considered. And when you switch back to the bend state, you can see they come right back without the need to unsuppress anything.